Hey, Connie.
Hey.
Hey, so we're back again. As we saw, we didn't do the in our last one we did both of the Flexbox and the CSS box model, but today we're going to be working on learning typography by the nutrition label. So I'm just going to share my screen, and then we'll get started.
Awesome.
Let's see. It is this one. Right. Okay, so there we are. Here's my screen. So we're going to start the project. Start coding. So that they're showing us what we're going to be building. So hopefully we can get that. So let's see. So at the beginning, we've provided a basic HTML boilerplate for you. Create a HTML element within your body element and give it to the text nutrition facts. So within the body element, we need H1, and then we need, they just want me to close off the H1, so I'm just going to do one and give it text of nutrition facts. Now, if I remember correctly, if it was just like that, it will all be in the same line, right? The closing tag. So
yeah, usually you just put it because it's just the one thing. Usually H1s, H2s, etc., all same line.
Sounds good. Was this fail? No, this is fine. I've had the space there, so I wasn't sure if it was going to fail or not. So. Okay, so below your H1 element, add a P element, and with the text 8 sevens, and that should be fine. Oh wait, your P element should have this. Oh, per container. Whoops. That's what I get for just reading the.
Keep reading. Yeah.
Yeah, not the line. Right. So check your code. There you go. Right. So the next one is add a second P element with the text 7 size. Okay. So we should do that. P. So 7 size 2-3 cup. Probably then close off. All good. So on to the next one. Within your head element, add a link element with the rel attribute set to style sheet and the href attribute set to fonts 𝐦𝐤𝐤𝐿. So this will import this Open Sans font family with the font weight values of this. So, okay, so what we need to do then is within your head element, add a link element. So let's start off with that. So if I look, they give me a nice little space, so hopefully I can do it there. Oh wait, I am not doing it right. No. Is it? I'm just thinking. Hold on, let me just think of what it would be. Is it if it was this is when I'm trying to remember off memory what it's called if it's inside right, we're just gonna do it this way. I have a feeling it says I have a feeling this is wrong, but just let me figure this out, okay? Because yeah, if I fail, then it'll tell me. I hope equals and then style sheet, and then we want href equals, and we'll do this. And then also add a link element to link your styles of CSS file. Oh, this is all I forgot. Let me just try checking the code to make sure. Okay, so your code should have two right. So essentially, yes, it's saying to me this, but I also need another link element. And then I would need to, I think I will do this same, but, and then, sorry, I'm just trying to remember off my head before you try and help me with this, but let me just figure this out. Let me see. So, and then it'll be styles.css. Let's see how this code goes. Okay, haha, perfect. Sorry, Connie, I couldn't hear you anyway for some reason. You seem to be muted.
I am muted. Sorry. I was just saying you need a closing angle on your last link, but otherwise, excellent.
Closing. Oh yeah, over here, right? It doesn't. Yeah.
It didn't mind it. Yeah.
For some reason, it didn't mind the hash either over here, so it was like this basically. Yeah. So we don't want that. Okay. So yeah, that's fine. I just wanted to. Maybe it was a good thing because it helped me like kind of focus and try and figure out exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Okay, so create a body, select and give it a font family set to open source. So what we need to do is we don't have a class because we are body's fine. So we just need to do this. Then we need to do font family. And then we need to do open sans. And oh my gosh, fallback. I think you just do. This is where I'm like, is it just adding after that or comma after that, or no? There must be a fallback option. But I'm trying to remember off memory. Okay, so best thing in life is always to try and then see how things go. No,
You got a space there.
Yeah, well, they do say there's a space when open sans.
There should be a space, but
What?
There should be a space, and you have one. But I'm just saying, if you got a space there, is it going to think it's one thing open sans, or is it going to think it's two things separated by a space? What do you think?
I think two things. Don't I need a? I think I need some sort of bracket. I think, but I don't know. I'm gonna give this a go because this should continue and it just should pass me for open sans. If it doesn't, then yeah, comma. Oh, but it has quotes. Yeah,
Quotes. Yeah.
Yeah. So if because and then it has a comma. Now, because I remember I've written commas before, but it wasn't to be. I don't know what.
Like in the shorthand, you don't want to use commas for that. But in a list of fonts, you want to use commas. Because it's a list of fonts, different ones.
I see. So font family usually has a comma with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Sometimes, just knowing these little quirks of the logic, right?
And it's confusing. Yes.
Oh, and I didn't add the self-closing as well. Yeah, so that was. I need to do that. Right, so the font is a bit small. Create a HTML selector and set the font to have a size of. Okay, it's really weird how it's always like this, but wait, it doesn't let me type. I'm just gonna refresh it. Sometimes it's weird like that. Oh, right, it's up here. I need to write it. Okay, HTML. and set. Oh, so what am I doing? Right. HTML selector. Yes, there you go. Okay, and then we want the size to be 16 pixel and close out. All right, let's see how. Now your HTML selector should have font size. That's why I screwed up, not just size. There was one thing which was just that, but I don't remember what it was. Was it type? Maybe I don't remember.
There's color.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was just color because I remember I written background color before, and it was like color. Yeah. Okay, next one. So wrap your H1 and P elements in a div element. Give that div class attribute set to the label. So wrap your H1. And again, when you wrap it, do you have a new line, or is it, if it's one thing, just...
I would have your div above the H1, put the H1 Ps, and then put your div below the last P and indent.
Yeah, I'd probably do something not. Yeah.
I would indent the P also, the Ps also.
The Ps and the H1s are kind of like that.
Yeah.
And then essentially we just have a closing for divs over here.
You want your div to be around, one div around the H1 and the Ps. So you want, it's asking you to wrap the H1 and Ps in a div element. Yep. Yep.
And then there's class attributes set to label. So we need to do class equals, that's it, attribute. That was a word I was looking for.
Oh, okay.
Before. Right, that should be fine. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because it's just remembering which one's an attribute, which one's a, yeah.
Yes, the words are helpful to know what to do. If they use the right words consistently and you use them, it helps you to communicate with the fellow developers on things.
Yeah. So borders can be used to group and prioritize content. Create a .label selector and give it a border. So we need to do a .label, and then we need to do border, and then will be 2 pixels solid black. And I missed something. So 1 second. Colors always help, don't they? Right, so that should be fine. We have a border, so that we're happy.
So there is a shorthand that you don't use commas for. That's what we were kind of talking about earlier. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wait, hold on 1 second. Did I check your code? Oh wait, your dot should have a.
Oh, you got
this
a width
is my bad for not reading for further. Oh no, I think I went on to the next one. That's what happened.
Oh, got it.
So like before it was that one, and now it's this one.
There you go.
Fine. Yeah. And on to the next one. Right, so step 10. Give your .label selector a margin property set to 20 pixel auto and a padding property set to 0.7 pixel. Okay, so what we need to do is first of all give a margin and make it 20 pixel auto, and then they say padding to be 0.7 pixel. Should be fine. Yeah. So yeah, I can see that it has gone down. It's so like it's really funny sometimes when you code and you like look at things and you're just concentrating on a code learning, but then you look at what's actually happening. It's quite different.
Yeah. So, yes.
Okay. If you inspect your label element with your browser's developer tools, you may notice that it's actually 288 pixels wide instead of 270. This is because by default, the browser includes a border and padding when determining an element size. So to solve this, reset the box model by creating a star selector and giving it a box sizing property of border box. So we need a star selector. And then give it a box dash sizing. And we will give it a border box. Right, and that should do it. Okay, we are happy. Yeah, you see, like nowadays, it's like whenever somebody mentions, whenever I see selector, I'm like, oh, okay, so that means it's in the style CSS, and I need to open up the parentheses.
That's right.
So remember that the use of h1, h2, and similar tags determine the semantic structure of your HTML. However, you can adjust the CSS of those elements to control the visual flow and hierarchy. Create an h1 rule and set the font weight property to 800. This will make your h1 text bolder. Okay, so what we need to do is h1 rule, yep, and then font weight would be 800, and make sure that, yep, that's made a little bit bolder. So give your h1 selector a text align, so text align, and then center. Oh wait, so hold on. Oh, I misspelled text align. There we are. Perfect. Fine-tune the placement of your h1 by giving it a top and bottom margin of -4 pixel and a left and right margin of 0. So fine-tune the placement of your h1 by giving it a top and bottom margin of -4 pixel and a left and right margin of 0. Okay, so what do? We set margin. And now this is where we think. So top, it goes from top like a clock, so it'll be -4 pixel, and shorthand it should be just 0. So the 0 of the right margin takes the left, and the -4 pixel should take the bottom. So
correct. Good.
Good with that. So create a piece selector and remove all margins. Okay, and I just know 0 removes all. That's that. To be honest, that's
like,
not from something. Maybe it was from something that we did, but like I just know, like from experience previously as well. Just like 0. Okay, so lines can help separate and group important content, especially when space is limited. Create a div element below your h1 element and give it a class attribute set to divider. So let's have a look. So it says create a div element below your h1 element and give it a class attribute. So this is a h1 element, and it says below my h1. So therefore, it's asking me to create another div over here, and I will just close it off here as well, and give it a class attribute of divider. So let's see if this works. Yep, we are happy with this. Right, so create a selector for your new divider and set the border bottom property to 1 pixel solid. Hashtag. And also give it a top and bottom margin of 2 pixels. It should not have any left or right margin. So if I go and create a selector, so I go divider, and then I do border bottom. I do 1 pixel solid. That should do it. Perfect. And I forgot the thingy, but yeah, that's what we are doing. Having fun so far?
oh yeah, looking good.
So So let's see. So the letter spacing property can be used to adjust the space between each character of text in an element. Give your H1 selector letter spacing property set to 0.15 pixel to space them out a bit more. So letters, I don't think I've used that before.
I don't use it much either. Very rarely. But here, if you watch it, if you look before you put anything, just see the effect.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna put I'm looking right now and I'm writing 0.515 pixel.
So just ever so slightly.
Yeah,
Just kind of.
I saw it. I just saw it. Like, yeah, there you go. Yeah, we're looking at the header, not anything else. So we're looking over here. So if we write 0.15 and then write px. It's strange. It seems you applied something for P as well. What does P just stand for if you did 0.15 P?
What does it what?
No, because look, if you do this, it changes, right? And you do this, it spaces out.
Yeah, it doesn't. If you put just the P, it's as if there's nothing there because there is nothing that means P. But as soon as you put that X, it interprets it to the pixels.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is when I have 0.15 P, yeah, and I get rid of this, see? It's like P, does P stand for pixel as well? Am I something I should have?
Put the X.
Yeah, this makes it wider. But 0.515 P, but 0.15 P, like if I just, for example,
if you move the P and you just have 0.15.
Yeah, so have a look at this, and I'm just gonna cut this, okay?
Okay.
Okay, no difference, I guess.
No difference. Yeah.
Yeah, but if I just had 0.15, oh yeah, because 0.15, you don't need to write pixel, do you? It automatically assumes.
Oh, does it?
I think so, because look. If I had 0.15 pixel, okay, it's the same. So if I, for example, cut this, yeah. So have a watch. Nothing changes. So when you write the number, it actually.
It might be this editor because this is FreeCodeCamp's editor.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, if you're in a strict mode, which we've talked about before, you'll want to make sure you've got the units on there so that it's consistent and not flaky.
And of course, you want to also have the units just because of the, if somebody else was looking at your code or you needed to have a look at that, they need to know exactly what you've been writing before. So
yeah, but it's really great that you experiment like that to see what's going on with what you do. So that's a really good thing.
I think that's the best way. Like, I think it's like most people think, I'm just gonna follow an example. I don't think that's always the best way. There's a lot of like you can pick up like something and then just experiment it. It doesn't matter if you kind of go off piece. It's just like at the end of the day, you're still learning about, and you'll have a greater understanding of that code later on if you just keep questioning and keep thinking about stuff like this. Otherwise, if you, for example, have a book and just follow the book blindly and don't ever go off piste, you're gonna learn a lot slower than if you just experiment with things.
Right, agree.
Right, on to the next one. So step 19, nutrition labels have a lot of bold text to draw attention to important information. Rather than targeting each element that needs to be bold, it is more efficient to use a class to apply the bold style into every element. So give your second P element a class attribute set to bold. So we're gonna give it here, and then we're gonna give a class attribute. And that should be bold. So we now need to go into styles of CSS. Your new class does not have any style in it. Create a bold selector. And yeah, so Here's a question. You know, when you order your styles or CSS, do you usually get like, do you usually see that, for example, your elements will be ordered in like one go, and then your classes will be ordered like later on, or
Yeah, that's a good question. I know we just had that conversation recently on my team. I've got someone who wrote a little helper like function to run and alphabetize them. So basically, you know, his thought was you can find it easily if things are alphabetized. And then another one of us was like, well, but I want everything to be kind of grouped according to the function of whatever it is I'm writing. If I am working on a particular area of the page or the site, I want every style that's related to that to be grouped together. I don't want to have to be scrolling up and down to find the different things all the time. That's annoying. So it really depends on how you work, and your team generally needs to agree on, and then you just kind of stay with that convention. I've done it both ways in different ways. For me personally, it usually is better to have them grouped according to the function or the feature, because that's where you're working, and it's very handy to have them all right there. You could have them alphabetized within that feature. Some have, you know, you write comments, a one-line comment that titles this is the feature, and these are all the styles for that feature, and that's very helpful. It depends on how long your style sheets are. You don't want to have a, you know, a mile long style sheet either. You can separate them out. So just depends. Can be either way.
Okay, yeah. So essentially, just up to the team, really.
It is up to you and the team. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's how I. Yeah, I mean, like, there's a million ways you can like possibly have it, but it's just a matter of like making sure that you and your team are working hand in hand on the same kind of model and display,
Right.
rather than because at the end of the day, you may be at the company, but you may move on and everything else. So it's a it's the I think one of the things which I find with developers is like, work with infrastructure as code is that sometimes um, people may write according to how they feel rather than how the team may feel. So therefore, when they write like that, that actually causes it can cause issues because first of all you haven't written it just the same way as other people, and
Yeah.
second of all it'll be a bit difficult to say for you're not around for whatever reason, because with developer jobs you can be there for a 6-month contract, then go somewhere else, and then somebody else might pick up the pieces. So it's essential that the stuff you leave is also the team can also pick that up really more easily.
Yeah,
So
agree. And you want to be, so you want to, whatever your idea or your thought is for your preference, to be able to articulate the reasons why you like that preference and convince your teammates to go with your idea. But regardless of whose idea you decide on, first of all, you should need to decide on one idea between all of you. And then the whole team agrees and supports that idea going forward, so that you're all on the same page. You definitely don't want to have different things going on in the conventions.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So let's move on to hopefully the next one. Yeah. I love these chats. Sometimes we're just mired into that. Okay. So give your H1 element a class attribute set to bold. This will make the text bold again. So we need to give the H1 element a class of bold. And if I just add the quotes, well, that should be fine. Cool. On to the next one. Right. Horizontal spacing between equally important elements can increase the readability of your text. So wrap the text 2/3 of a cup in a span element and give it a class attribute set to right. So we need to work with this one, the only one with our. Wait, is that the one? No, that's not the one. This one, right. So we also need to give a class of right, and
Wait, what's it say to do?
So I'm kind of doing it backwards. So I'm first of all giving a class of.
Wait.
Well, yeah. I see where I have one on. I know exactly where I have one on. Right. So essentially, I need to wrap this up
Wrap,
in
wait. What's it say to wrap?
the 2/3 of a cup. Oh, wait. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
That's where I went wrong. Right. So in here, 2/3 of a cup. So span, and then 50/30, and then span, and then if I close this off, and then I give it a class of right, and we can get rid of this, and that should be fine. Perfect. Okay. So the flow property is used to place an element on the left and or right of its container, allowing other content such as text to wrap around it. Create a new .right selector and set the float property to right. So right float equals right. Wait. Sorry.
I
This
think
is
I've done that too, like
yes.
recently. I'm like, what is wrong with this? Oh yeah.
It's. I'm sorry. I was on. That was Terraform. Terraform. Thanks.
You're good.
Okay. So float right. Yeah. There you go.
Float is one of those concepts that I have a hard time wrapping my head around. It's just, I probably couldn't articulate back to you exactly what is going on with float, but just okay. Every time I have to use float, I always have to look it up to see what exact. Okay, well, this is what I need. Okay, I need to use float and go look at it again.
Well, let's have a look to see what happens anyway.
And it's overflow float.
Yeah, it makes a new space, so like that with space, but then it like
just moves it.
Yeah,
Floats it to the right.
It moves it to the right of whatever else is to the right. I'm pretty sure if I wrote, where's nutrition facts? Sorry, index HTML. If I wrote blah 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 blah, okay, and now if I did float, which is float. Oh, that was the float. Let's see. Or I guess it just goes to the right of the border. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
I thought it was like, but yeah, it's. I guess it's. Is it to the border? I don't know.
I think it might. It just floats to the right and it hits whatever its container is. In this case, whatever has the right class. It's contained in some other element, and it'll go float up to that edge of that container.
Oh yeah.
So if you look at the HTML to see the thing that has the right class in the HTML, we're in styles. Yeah, so what we assigned to the right class was that 2/3 cup. And so the container is the P tag. So it will float, go to the, whatever we say, we're left or right. So it's right, float right to that P tag or container. Remember, everything is a box. So it's going to float that. But
Yeah, because we made the P element. What do we make the P element? We made the P element to have a class of bold, so as well. So, and we did margin 0 as well.
Okay, let's keep going and see if there's anything else to that.
Okay, now that I've gone to the next challenge, everything's reset for me. Yay. Okay, so wrap everything within a label element and a new head element. So that means it'll be here, no? No, I would actually make it like this.
I think it's saying everything within the label element. So right now you've got the div class. The div has the label class.
Oh, so you think it's more like this, and then so and then here, better. So you think it's more kind of, I guess, like this, or I guess I don't know. I guess that's what you're thinking, right? So
Yeah, everything within the label element. Yeah, within it. Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, that's right. Okay, cool. Yeah, sometimes it's just a word, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that one's tricky.
Yeah, because you like think of like the div as well, but it's not really because that's when you're saying that. Okay. So now update your H1 selector to be header H1 to specifically target your H1 element within the new header. So header. Oh yeah, there's no commas here. There you go.
Yeah.
Cool.
So the difference being, as a reminder for those who might watch this, the difference being a comma is the list. So you want both of them to have that. And without the comma, you're basically a parent and a child. So something within that initial one is what you want to assign. Yeah.
And just a quick one, how would you create a list if you had to, or is it something that HTML does for you?
You mean when you have several?
Yeah, how would you know something's a list, and how would you know something's not a list?
You mean like as in terms of what I was just saying? We have a list of elements. So you just separate them with commas. Like if you have an H1 and H2 and H3 and you want all of them to have the right class or float right, then you just do H1 comma H2 comma H3, and all of them would have that, as opposed to without the commas. It's the nesting structure. You want to get at the child of these that has and assign those things, and not all of those things, but just the child. Then, so that's what's happening when you're using a space. So you're saying that this is the parent, this is a child, and this is a child, and this inner child is the one I want to assign this thing. Does that make sense? Yeah.
So we need to do div, and then divider 1G, and then that'll be. Let's go div here. You need these elements should have.
Is that an LG?
No, it's possible. It might be. Sometimes it is, isn't it?
You could copy it too if you're. Yeah.
Those LG, yeah. Okay.
It's hard to determine. Sometimes it looks very similar.
Yeah, I mean, if I wrote it, it's like just a little bit taller, right? And it's like, the one has a little diagonal down, so
yeah.
Okay, so that LG, and give it a height. That's a crazy LG. This is another one where it tells me in there that yeah, I know this is wrong because it's like here, but like yeah, this is like.
So they do want you to use the comma on that one. So here we're saying we want both of these to have these assigned properties.
Yeah.
It's looking like a nutrition label.
Yeah, it definitely does, doesn't it? All it needs is a barcode. Right, okay, so you may notice there's still a small border at the bottom of your LG element. To reset this, give it your LG MD select as a border property set to 0. So border will be 0. Now the MD medium class will be utilizing sub37. Okay, we'll remember that in 11 steps. Probably won't, but we'll see. Okay, so create a new develop below your LG element and give a class attribute set to calories dash info. So create a new div element below your LG. So we'll just close it off here, and then we'll just do class equals calories.
That's a good habit to get into when you're opening your tag. Go ahead and close it and go back and do the other things that you need to do with it. That's a very good habit to be into.
So within your calories info element, create a P element. Give that P element a class attribute set to bold SM text and add the text amount per 7. So let me see. So calories info, create a P element. Give that P element a class attribute set to bold. So let me see. One second, Connie.
Yep.
All right. So where we're going? So give that P element a class attribute. So within here, I need to create a P element with a class of class equals and the text Yep, that's fine. Okay, cool. So the next one is the rem unit stands for root m and is relative to the font size of the HTML element. Create an sm.sm-text selector and set the font size to be 0.85 rem. And okie dokes. Yep, that's all good. Right, the next one is below your text element, create a new h1 element with the text calories 230. Wrap the 230 portion of the text in a span element with the class set to right. So below my SM element, create a and that would be the class set to right. Your HTML. Yes, it's calories 230. So I have not spelled that right, which is I've not selected the right thing. So I'll just get rid of everything here. And that should do. Oh wait, it's panel. Oh wait, hold on. What? Hold on. I can get this. 1 second. Okay. So they say to create a new HR an element of the 230. Okay. Then wrap the 230 portion of the text in a span element with class set to run. Right. So that's what they needed me to do in the first place. So if I did that. But why was this wrong? So let's just have a look once more. I swear that was the same thing.
I thought you had that. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I got so confused.
I was like, well, I don't know what didn't work there, but yeah.
Yeah, I was like thinking, wait a minute, it's I'm pretty sure I read that 230 portion. Then I went back because I saw the 2 calories 230, and I thought that's why. But no, it was actually right the first bit. Wait. Anyway, you always get these kind of things in code sometimes. Yeah. And then we will set margin to be -5. So I wish you challenge you something. Well, not challenge, but I guess they're still trying to get me to learn in a way. But yeah, I guess it will throw the curveballs later on. Where they say, "Oh, we need the top to." I think we did it before anyway. We did like top to be -5 pixel and left. Yeah, but usually you want it in a square anyway, right? So. So anyway, that's done. So create a calories info span select and set the font size to 1.2 EM. So that's what we're gonna do. I misspelled calories. There you go. The larger font size of the number 230 is causing it to overflow. Give the calories info H1 and overflow property set to hidden to avoid this. So what we're going to do is do overflow and then hidden. Yeah, so it's just gone down slightly. Next one, typography is often more art than science. You may have to tweak things like alignment until it looks correct. Give your calories info span, select a margin top set to -7 pixels. This will shift your 230 into place. So margin top to be -7 pixels. Okay, that's done. Right, step 37. If you remember, we stalked there was something of a comment. I remember that slightly. So below you add a div with the class selector. So then we need to set class to be divider. Yeah. Perfect. Right, create an MD selector and do a height property of so. Perfect. Right, next one. Create a new div element below your MD element. Give a class attribute set to daily value as as checks. Within this new div, add a P element with the text daily value and set the class attribute to right bold. Right, so we need to create a new div first. then we need to give it a class of daily dash value some dash text, and then within this new div we will add the percentage daily value star, and we'll close pk and set the class attribute to be, now we've used right bold, so I'm expecting this to be, oh wait, so I'm expecting this to be changed. Yep, right and bold. Cool. So the float styling is causing the new P element to be outside the label's border. Use your existing divider element as an example to add a new divider after the P element. So a new divider as a float styling So what am I thinking? So it wants me to add using existing divider element as an example to add a new divider after the P element. So how do I do that?
So where's your existing divider element?
I don't remember. Oh, right. We have one which is divider.
You've got, there you go, one above that. That one, the top one there is just divider. That may be, the other one's a large, the other, and then the one after that is a medium. So this one's just divider. Is that the one they want? Yeah, just the divider.
So after the P element, so they just want me to basically do div class equals divider, and then goes off div. Let's see. Work.
Is that it?
Yeah. Okay, cool. Right, so give the divider selector a clear property set to right. This will clear the flow property, pushing the divider and any following content down below the text. So if I'm here, give the divider selector clear property set to right. So can you just tell us what clear is? Or
I wish I could. So this is the type of thing that I'm talking about. I'm not sure if it clears the float. Let me look this up for sure, because this I have to look at it every time. This has to do with the float and it overflowing or something along those lines. But let me check. Clear property specifies what should happen with the element that is next to a floating element. Controls the flow of the next to floated elements. So whenever you have float, things that are next to it, you can clear the float. You can, yeah, this is very confusing to me. Some of the values are, you used right. There's also left. Okay, so right says the element is pushed below right floated elements. So we put it on the divider. Where did we put that clear?
We put dot right property before, and we said float right, right? We put that in the divider. So essentially, does this mean, although the float is applying to the divider, the clear property removes the float from the divider, if that makes sense?
Well, it looks like it's saying that the element, which in our case is the div with the class divider, that div element is pushed below the right floated elements.
So
it's kind of confusing.
Yeah, so let's try and get this a little bit into our heads, and then we can hopefully be more wiser about it. Right, so we have a .write class attributes called write, yeah? So we have this, which is float write, okay? We have the divider property, which is set to clear. So let's have a look for in our HTML for .write and .divider and see where they may overlap, if anything. So if we have a look, if I'm going to do Control F, I can't do Control F. Can I? Okay, never mind. So I'm just looking here, trying to see.
The very last two, the P and the div there.
Yeah, so we had a P, which was class write, and then within we also had the divider underneath,
which has the clear
which
property.
is right. So essentially, what it's saying is that it's going to clear anything which the float may have been working on, like down. If that makes sense.
Yeah, you know what? There's the word clear, right? You think of the word clear and you think clear it as in wipe it away, clear it. But there's also the word clear, which means that you're going beyond it. You're clearing it, right? And I think that second definition is the one that I need to be thinking of in terms of clearing it, not wiping it away or getting rid of, but that it's going beyond it and clearing it. Like you want to, when you jump, you want to clear the ditch, right? You know what I'm saying? You want to clear it. You want to make sure you get over it. And you want to clear it. That's what I mean. So I think that will be helpful. Think of it that way.
So so what happens? Yeah. So essentially, if we had it like this, you see how it goes over here, right? But if we did this, it goes over here.
Beyond it.
But just as a quick question, what will happen if we just get rid of this? Yeah, that's not. It's not.
Everything's left aligned. Yeah.
Oh. Okay. I think I gotcha. It's a little bit confusing, and they said like that, but yeah. Okay. Let's go ahead then, plod on, and hopefully eventually we'll get it more stuck into our heads.
Yeah.
So after your last divide element, create a P element and give it a text of total total fat and a span element. Wrap. Okay. After you create a P element and give it the text.
You've got your span is capitalized after total fat. That might be the problem. Still something wrong?
So we have the span, 10%, span class, I swear this is right again, but maybe this space? No.
Wrap total fat in a span element, class set to bold.
We need 10%.
Bold, right.
Total fat, 8G, 10%. I'm pretty sure that's right. What? I swear this is right.
I'm looking. Wrap total fat in a span element.
I'm going to rewrite first.
Okay.
You have a look if you can, but I'm just going to do this quote. So, and then now I'm just going to wrap span. So, and then I'm going to run span again. As you can see, what I'm doing here is I am going by the logic. So by doing the test-driven development, basically, to put the span combinations first. And then hopefully this should... Now, I'm going to get rid of this text. And all I need... It should be complaining to me about classes now. Yeah, so now it's complaining about classes. I don't know what went wrong, but class equals bold, and my second span element should be bold right. And if I just compare, this is what I had. So
Spaces.
there's only a space for the AG, right? Well, like there was a... This is the correct one, though.
Mm-hmm. Like if you took away that second line and you remove the spaces from the top line, would it fail?
I do not know because it's gonna just go into the next step. I have to refresh it. So what do you want me to do?
Take away the second line, which was what we had, and it said was not correct.
Mm-hmm.
It said this first line here is correct.
I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to refresh the page.
Oh, since you already passed it, looks like it has it already. Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you want me to do?
I just go on. I think that it was probably the spaces, because if we take away the spans and there's no spaces, you're going to have text up against text. And basically you'd end up with total fat HG without any spaces, and that would not be correct. So the spaces are probably really important in this case.
Hold on. We can just see over here. Essentially, this is correct because of the total fat AG.
Yeah.
This is incorrect because of this is... All we needed to do was actually look at the HTML. We should have realized what we were doing. We were too stuck in the code.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's correct.
That makes sense.
Cool. Yeah, that makes absolute sense. All right. So below your element with the total fat text, create a new P element, and we will put saturated. Up to 5% in this one. Cool. Okay. So step 44. So this new P element will need to be indented. Give it a class set to indent. Cool, that's done. Oh, it's becoming more and more frequent.
It is. I donate, so
yeah, I know that you donate, but for me, it's it's recognizing I keep using free code camp, and yeah, maybe I will later on.
It's working. Their tactics are working.
Right. So create a new indent selector, and give it a margin dash left. Sorry, I just kind of full screened, but it's fine. Hopefully everyone's okay to with this. So we will push this to 1 EM. Yep. So my battery fat went over a little bit. Right. So created dot day value. Yeah, we put this before, I believe, but we to target all your P elements. In the daily value section, gives all the bottom 1 pixel solid hashtag. Cool, that's done. Right. Where are we? So the bottom borders under your percentage daily values are unsaturated fat elements do not extend the full width of the label. Add a node divider to the class for these two elements. So what we're going to be doing is to the class for these two elements. The bottom borders under your percentage daily value, which is this one, and the saturated fat, which is this one. So we would need to add a new class.
When you add a new class, you just use the existing class attribute, and they're separated by spaces, kind of like what you have right there, right? Bold. Those are actually two classes on this particular element.
Okay, so I just need to add node divider into here. I see. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Okay. Getting that. Right. So the .NET pseudo selector can be used to select all elements that do not match the given CSS rule. So the above selected selects all div elements without the ID of example. So like this. So modify your daily value PD selector to exclude the node divider elements. So essentially what they need me to do is I've got this, I've got my, so modify your D to exclude the node divider elements. So I'm just trying to think how you would do this. Selects all div elements without. Would that be within or without?
So if you look at the example up there, basically it's saying for every div, change the color to red. But they're using the not there to say for every div, but not the ones that have whatever the rule is in there. So exclude the no divider elements. So you have the ID selector, and that hashtag is an ID selector, and it applies to the example, but not how you're supposed to do every single one. Yeah. So right there, you're saying the no divider class, which is what they are asking.
Okay.
But it didn't like it. Oh, you don't need the div there. Basically, you want to apply it to what you had existing, which was daily value, space P, colon not. Yeah, that, but not any that are no divider class.
Right. So looking at the logic, first of all, we're talk about the daily value is going to be our class. Second is we're talking about the P element. Third, that P element is being apply the not and of the no divider class.
Mm-hmm. And that P is a child of the daily value. That's why there's a space there and not a comma. So that's what we were talking about earlier about the parent child. When you have a space, you're saying that the thing on the right is the child of the thing on the left.
I see. Okay. That's making more sense.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, now you will have to add separate dividers below your no divider elements. Your first no divider element has a has a divider after it. Create another divider after your second no divider element. So essentially after this. Okay, next one. So after your last divider, create another P element with the text transfer and 0. So let's do that quickly. And now I'll move on to the. So we need trans at 0G. It highlights the word trans, so we need to do I and then close that off. And then give the new P element the class attribute set to indent no divider. So class equals indent no divider. What did I screw up on? The class attribute is fine. Oh, I think it's another class, yeah. Oh, I see that transfer rather than that. This should be it. That just, yeah, we can look over here. That this is fine now. Let's try. Yeah. Was that what you were gonna say, Connie?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Create another divider after your last P element. Okay, let's do another class divider. Close off div. Fine. Next one. So after your last divider, create a new P element with the text cholesterol. Wrap the text in a span element and give the span. Wrap the text in another span element. Yep, it's basically what we've done over here. Exactly, almost just certain different bits. So that would be cholesterol. It really is becoming more of a nutrition logo, isn't it?
Yeah, looking good.
Let me close it off. Let's just go with the P element, and we will work with cholesterol. Span B here. And this is where I totally just like had a little spasm. So first of all, that, okay? Second of all, we don't need this span. There would be a class, but it's not span. It's bold right. That's what they need. Right, so now we need to do span, and then we can just and the span element would have what's the span? Wait, hold on. I am again having a little bit of a slight meltdown. Right. Okay. So P element. Read the question. Wrap the text collateral in the span element, and so there you go. Span, and then give the span element a class attribute of bold. All right. Class equals bold. There you go. Right. So the next one is wrap the text 0% in another span element. And give it a class of bold right. And it didn't pass. Why did it pass? Because I'm it's probably against the 0 on G, isn't it? No, wait, hold on. Cholesterol 0 on G. Wait, 0% is to the right.
Oh, spell cholesterol spelling. So
Cholesterol, I misspelled cholesterol. CHOLE. I was never good at science. I'm just so you know. Cholesterol. Cholesterol. I have perfect. Right. So step 53. Below your last P element, create another P element with the text sodium 160 milligrams 7%. Right. Let's just create another P element with that text. This is another thing. When you undo this, do you usually add the space between them or leave this or have no space?
I usually don't put spaces in.
Okay. Right, so that's fine. So wrap the text sodium over class attribute of bold. Wrap the 7% text in another span element. And it will be class of bold right. Right, so basically it's trying to show me that, I can use bold right or right bold in each, doesn't matter the order, right?
Correct. That's good observation there, yep.
Right, so we will go to the next one, which is add another P element with the text. Oh my God. I'm getting sick of these.
Hang in there. We're almost done.
I mean, I don't mind, but just sometimes doing something repetitively is a little bit, Fine, it's okay. I'll get that. Right. P. And then before. I'm just gonna guess that it's this. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, as I said that's before, so I'm essentially kind of.
But this time it's telling you to make it bold. It's not telling you to assign it a certain class. So you're having to, you know how to make it bold. And then it says to right align the 13%. So you know.
And the text 13% bold. Yeah, well, it's the same kind of. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I get what you mean. Yeah, it's like it's actually saying like, just make it rather than follow these instructions.
Exactly. Yeah.
13% is span. Class goes right. Hey, okay,
Yeah.
onto the next one. So step 55. Below your lowest P element, add another P. Okay, these guys are really taking off. Right, I'm just gonna make it like this because it's a little bit. Well, I could actually. I'm just gonna do this and then enter the editor. Let me see if I can do this to make it a little bit more for me. Right, okay, so here we add another P element. Another dietary fiber for G because of that P element. So give the P element class of indent and remove the node divider. Then create a divider below the P element. So div class equals, yeah, so we need to kind of have a divider which is at the bottom over here, and then we'll close off div. Right, why is that? Oh yeah, because I haven't closed this tag. Right, colors always help.
Yes, you do.
Okay, so step 56, create another P element. So after your node divider, total sugars. I are just thinking. Okay, then yeah, I will do this. Yep. Let's see. Assign that P element the class values. Now, yeah, usually if you were gonna do this, you might copy and paste the code, but I'm typing out because I want to just get that experience of typing it out more than anything else. So I find whenever you copy and paste code, you never really learn from it, because the thing is sometimes when you type out code, you just end up making mistakes, and you know the fact that you can actually look at those and figure out at that point that you mistyped something, those little things really excel you, and that is the learning that you really need, more so than the actual, you know, whether you've passed the code
Yeah,
or not.
agree. Yeah, I'd rather type it out to learn it also. Get it in your hands so it goes through. Yep.
So in this way, indent and remove the bottom border. Now, what do we have for the bottom border? So if I look at styles of CSS, I'm trying to we had a divide. Was that the divider that we removed? Oh,
Well, yeah, I think the borders are dividers, right? That's what they're talking about.
I think so, yeah. Well, no, not. Look, it says assign a P element the class values necessary to indent. I have a feeling that we need to add the daily value.
Well, you
Well,
could try it.
I don't know. I think it is. Then it'll be underneath here. Add another div class equals divider. And then close off. This might be wrong. Nope. Your new P element should have a class. Just no divider. I was being a bit too clever for my own good. Right. Yeah, because we did create one called no divider, no?
Yes, even you're using it somewhere else over there in your HTML. There's no divider. The trick is that they called it a border instead of a divider. They would have said remove the divider it would have been a little easier to understand what they meant.
Oh,
But they said remove the border instead.
oh yeah, because we had this, right? So not so if we add the class of no divider, then it's not going to apply. But because we have yeah, okay. But otherwise it will apply the border bottom. If that makes sense.
For the P elements that are in the daily value class, it's going to put a border bottom, except that if it's, yeah, but not for the no divider ones, it won't put a border bottom. That's what you just said. Yeah.
I think so, right. Okay, so if we did that, yep, let's submit and go to the next challenge. So step 57, the advantage to creating the new these dividers is that you can apply specific classes to sell them individually. Add a double indent to the class for your last divider. So what do we need to do? We need to add the double indent to the class of your last divider. So this one here, and I need to just add double dash indent. Cool, that passes. Right, created. Oh, I just once left, so I would need 0, 0. No, wait, no. It'll be 0, 0, 0 to
Or for this one, you could just use the one margin left if you wanted to. But the way you did it is also fine. That would work as well. Top, right, bottom, left. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I could have used margin left and 2 EM. That's exactly it as well. But I just don't know. So it seems like it's worked, so I'm going to go with it.
Yep.
Okay. So below your double indent element, add a new P element with the text includes 10. Okay, more P elements, yay. Okay, P element. So we're going to put includes NG added sugars 20%, and I'll close off the tag. And then your new P element should also be double indented, so therefore we need to make sure that we add the class of double indent, and then it has no bottom border, so no dash divider, and then we need to add user span to make the 20% bold. With the group should create a new P. Okay. Oh, then create another divider after the P element. So okay, fine. It'll be class. Let's wait. I had the div class divider. The span element should have. Oh, I'm not. Again, I haven't actually. Even though we've been repeating it, I just like. This is what I'm talking about, like writing out rather than copy and paste it. If I copy and paste it, I would have noticed I missed something.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. So after your lowest divider, create another P element with the text protein 3 gram. Use the necessary classes to remove the bone bold or add a span to make the protein bold. Following this element, create a large divider. Okay. I'm just going to get this out of the way because I kind of remember what the large divider was. So divider LG. And then I will need to do a P element. And then I will need to write protein 3G. And I will need to add a class of no divider and add a span to make the protein bold. Span class equals bold. There we are. I've made it no divider, class, bold. Yes, perfect. I'm happy with this. Okay, create another. Oh my gosh, man.
We're almost there. Hang in there. We got what, 5 or 6 more elements. Things.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, so P element. Okay, fine. So P element would be, it's like below your large divider. It will be with the text vitamin D, 2 mcg, 10%. And use a span to make the we need write, but do not make it bold. Cool, we are good. Okay, so another P element. We will go on to create another P element. Okay, fine. So give it the text calcium 260 milligram, 20%. Fine. So calcium milligram, 20%. Close off. Align 20% to the right. Yeah, they really are being very like deliberate in terms of telling me what they want. They just like are saying exactly, we want you to assign this to this, so without even giving me hints like so align 20% to the right, which we have done, I think. Yes, we have. So below that, create a P element. The text iron 8G with 5%, and I'll just kind of copy what I did because it's exactly the same. So 8%, close my span, and no, it wasn't 8%, it was 45%. Span, and I close my P element. Cool, so that code is good. So we added iron, calcium, vitamin D. So we now create the final P element. Yeah, for your daily value. and then close this. Remove the bottom border of the P element and your dot daily value section. So I need daily value here, right?
Daily, create your final P element for your daily. Well, you're in the daily value element, so you're in there. This is the final one of that. Yeah.
Remind me how I'm in there.
Okay, so let's see. Where is your div daily value? Right above the box, step 63. Class daily value, and then all your P elements are in there, are inside.
Yeah, and I'm like, it's kind of weird seeing it because you have different, like you have these things splitting it up. So yeah, but okay, cool. So I'm in my div class daily value, and that's been all there. So I don't need to do daily value. However, I do need.
How have we removed the bottom border before?
This.
But I'm not sure if that goes on the P or if you actually need to create a div under that. But let's try it one way, then the other way. So, or maybe this will work. I'm not sure.
We've been using no divider with P all this time.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yay! Awesome. Perfect.
So they need me to add a medium divider. So div class equals divider MD.
Yeah.
And then close off that div class. And then after below that, new divider creator. Yeah, so we can see this is our medium divider.
Yep.
Okay, and then create a P element. Yeah, I'm not bothering typing out.
I don't blame you. So I would hit enter in between the P there right now. I'd hit enter because you have several lines of text, and then go ahead and put that in there like that. Yeah.
Okay, so check your code. We are happy with this. Yep, and this is a full label, right?
Getting there. Yeah, I mean, there's no more text. I think we have a few more style things to do.
Yeah, we need to also do the node selector. That's why it's because we put node, but we didn't do it in Star CSS.
Yeah.
So font size. That's extra. Set the 5 pixel 0, 5 pixel 0. Cool, that's good. So give the node selector left and right padding.
This is the last one.
There we go. That's all complete. This is
nice.
Exactly how we want you to see it. Right. So we will go to the So this will be the next challenge, and this we will cover next week.
Yeah.
All right.
Good job.
Thanks for all for joining, and then we'll see you in the next one.